Hey Brandon, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Brandon, going back to Indiana real quick, what did it feel like for you out there? First start trying to figure everything out after watching the film. How did it go for you?
For me, after watching the film, there are some plays that I definitely could have made if I would have been like a step closer or just seen things quicker. As far as there was one play that I missed a tackle in the open field, but other than that, I know what I need to adjust as far as my personal body position and just the way everything unfolded with the actual play. So just taking those little notes from first game and seeing what I actually done well and what I didn't do well at really gives me an idea of what I need to do to continue to get better.
Nabias Wilborn.
Hey man, Brandon, thanks for doing this as always, man.
No problem. No problem.
All right, man. What did losing Jesse do to you guys in that fourth quarter? And how do you hold down the fort without him for a half against Ohio State?
Really, it was unfortunate losing Jesse in the game I can't talk. My bad. In the game due to a targeting penalty, but really it's just with everybody else that we've been practicing with. So like Lance in our situation, he's going to be stepping up to the starter role and carrying out the play for the first half of the Ohio State game and still subbing in. We're confident in what his abilities are. We're confident that he's going to be where he needs to be when he needs to be there. And we're confident in him making certain checks or different plays that he sees and stuff like that. So, I mean, we've all had enough experience in practice time our with our reps and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, I don't have any concerns about that at all.
Greg Pickle.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Thanks so much for your time. What have you seen on Ohio State's offense that might look a little bit different from the tape that you saw last year? And how do you prepare for Justin Fields in this attack?
There's not really much different with their offense because, I mean, they still got the same OC, they still got the same personnel, even though they lost running back and lost some other key components. But still, they're a very strong offense. Justin, we all know that he's dynamic, dual threat quarterback, and they got weapons at tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and their offensive line is great too. So I mean, there's nothing that we really haven't seen with them between this year and last year. But we all know that the things that we messed up on last year, we can't have those mistakes again. And the things that we did great, we got to continue to do those things and improve on it as well.
Tyler Donahue.
Hey, good afternoon, Brandon. Great to see you. Good to hear from you again. Wanted to get into the fact that you and Lance are going to be looking across at each other as starters in this big matchup against Ohio State. I don't know if that happened sooner than you both expected, but that's what the circumstances dictate. Where can you guys look to on the field for leadership, and how important, without a team captain like Jesse Luketa, does Ellis Brooks' role become for this linebacker group in the Ohio State game?
Well, really, I mean, we've had plenty of reps ourselves and within practice, and even Lance playing a lot last game and me having my whole freshman year as well as last game. We've had enough reps to know what we're doing out there. Ellis, he's definitely, even though he's not technically labeled a team defensive captain, he is. He's a middle linebacker. He's been here for a while. He knows what he's talking about. He even knows our positions to an extent and know what we have to do in our responsibilities. So there's no doubt in our mind that he's not a leader on his defense as well. As far as us looking across at each other being starters, I mean, we've talked about it before when we first got on campus about this is what we wanted to do and this is how we wanted to do things. Hey, this is just our opportunity to show what we got.
Preston Willett.
Hey, Brandon Preston with CBS 19 Charlottesville. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Hey, I just wanted to go back to this offseason and kind of talk about, there was so much uncertainty coming into the season, especially for y'all in the Big Ten. What was it like, finally taking the field and going through that whole offseason and all the unknown?
It was great to finally take the field again, even though you didn't really have your usual number of fans, so to say. But it was just great even just being out there and playing in front of just family. I mean, really, the game isn't really about the fans, even though the fans, they contribute a lot to it with the energy that they bring, whether the game is going great, whether it's going bad. I mean, the energy is great, but what we have to do in the tests and the tasks that we want to complete is none of that even matters to us.
How much did you hear from, your Louisa County community? I know they're always, chirping and they're on social media and stuff. How much did you hear from them, before or after the game?
I heard a lot from them actually before the game. Like a whole bunch of people were hitting me up saying good luck. We'd be watching. And it was just great to see that the people that haven't seen in a while are still in my corner, still support me through it all.
And sorry, just one more thing. Did you spend any time in Louisa this summer, or who'd you work out with?
I spent some time in Louisa when we had the whole COVID deal where we weren't on campus. I actually came back when they officially canceled the season. We had like a week or so break off, and I went straight home that night after we got word. Like I was back in Louisa at like 9-10 o'clock at night. So, but yeah, I went to my trainers in Richmond, worked out, and just got better. Continue to get better.
Mark Brennan.
Thank you, Brandon, for doing this today.
No problem at all.
Hey, what kind of feedback did you get from Coach Pry after that first game? And, what are some of the areas that he's kind of having you focus on this week going into Ohio State?
Okay, so the feedback that I got was basically, for me, there really wasn't anything that came my way besides the one tackle that I missed and that I should have made in the open field. As far as his word to me is just keep being eye discipline and keep being in the right place at the right time. As far as whenever I go on blitzes and whenever I'm supposed to back up my other linebackers, or whenever I'm supposed to make a line call or talk to the safeties, defensive backs, just making sure I stay disciplined with those little things, because at any point in time the ball can come my way and I had to be prepared for it. So with this week coming up, I've just been continuously working on my keys and making sure that I'm staying disciplined and not falling short and getting lazy.
Go ahead, Parth.
What's up, Brandon? Appreciate the time this afternoon, rather.
Yeah, no problem.
Jason Oweh down the stretch, he kind of flipped a switch there. I think he won like 7 out of his last 10 rushes, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
When he's playing like that, what does it do for y'all's defense as a whole?
Oh, it does a lot for our defense. It definitely puts pressure on the quarterbacks, which gives the defensive backs, it gives them a better cushion as far as when they guard people, and just that factor that, okay, the ball may not even come out as accurate as a quarterback would when he's not facing any pressure. So that type of thing, it just really gives them a lot of like security and reassurance that, hey, everything's all right. If it get beat a little bit, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing. And more than likely, he's going to be creating havoc in the backfield. It also gives us during the running game, he's strong, athletic. He can run down stuff from the back end, and he can stop stuff that comes straight to him. So, he's just a dynamic factor all around.
Donnie Collins.
Hey, Brandon, thanks so much for doing this. What do you see on film from the two running backs? Everybody talks about Fields. They have great receivers, but the two running backs that have replaced Dobbins, Teague and Sermon. What do you see from those two guys?
They're both dynamic in their own way. Everybody has a different running style. Like Teague, he can get up and go. He can run very well, and he's still a bigger body, so he can lower his shoulder when he needs to. I mean, like for the most part, every running back on this level can do a little bit of both at a very exceptional rate. So I mean, like for us, we just got to take them as say like we're going against like Alvin Kamara like every single time. So like you don't really sleep on anybody at all.
Okay, we have time for 3 more questions. I'll start with Tyler Donahue.
Brandon, we are just starting to be able to get looks at Kevon Lee and Keziah Holmes, but you've been seeing them in action for a couple months now on the field. Can you give us kind of the defensive scouting report facing those 2 running backs, how they differ, and what you expect to see from them for the rest of the way this season with the bigger role?
Okay, so for them, they're one and the same. Like they can definitely run over you, they can run by you, and they're hard-nosed runners. I mean, this is their opportunity to show what they have and show what they bring to the table, and they're not gonna let that opportunity slip in front. Can't talk. They're not gonna let it slip from underneath them. I mean, this is what they came here for, and this is why they basically left Florida to come here to play. They wanted this opportunity at this particular school, and they're gonna make the best of it.
Audrey Snyder.
Brandon, I wanted to ask you about the other running back, the guy you came in with in Devin Ford. Obviously, he's going to be the guy now. What can you tell us about Devin in terms of how you think he's going to handle this role and maybe why he's equipped to do so?
I've known Devin ever since high school, particularly the very first time even seeing him run. I wasn't getting any playing time at all in Louisiana. No, I think about it. And he broke out like an 80-yard run. This was during the scrimmage that we had. Break out like an 80-yard run, broke a few tackles, got an open field, and he's on his own 40. Look back at our defenders running out there, pointing, and still ran a touchdown. So this is something that he's built for. He's going to have fun with it, and that's what he did back then, and that's what he's going to continue to do now. I mean, this is what he lives for.
Final question for Preston Willett.
Yeah, hey Brandon, I just wanted to ask you. I know you got some playing time last year, but what is it like now? Just I know the atmosphere isn't the same, but just getting ready for these big games against Ohio State and then even Indiana. Just what is it like? Because that's kind of one of the big reasons you came to Penn State.
For me, the atmosphere definitely was nice. It's definitely a fun atmosphere to be in. As far as preparing for games, I don't really get too it sounds weird to say, but I don't really get too excited about one particular game. I don't really get overhyped. I don't show a lot of emotion. And sometimes people be like, man, why you not hyped up about it? I mean, I'm excited about it, but I just don't like showing a whole bunch of emotion. I'll just go ahead and let the way I play and everything basically show it. I mean, I'm not going to exert a whole bunch of energy on a Tuesday. Like it's just Tuesday. We got all week to prepare for it. Friday night to go over the rest of the film, signals, play call, gameplay. And then Saturday, we just go out and play. We do what we need to do and then show why working all week is worth it. I mean, that's the way I personally see it. So I mean, like I'm excited for the game as always, like any other game.